All right. Thank you everybody for joining Sprint 2 review of the ongoing APAC community-wide ETL project. As usual, we'll have our functional teams go over their sprints. For today, we'll have the ETL team go first to provide their progress over the past sprint. Satish, over to you. Thank you. Sorry, Satish, you're muted.
Thank you. Yeah. So for the last sprint, we made some progress regarding the infrastructure and this required for our development. So first, we created GCP VMs. So each VM for two sub teams of the ETL, which is the Python and the SQL team. And our approach would be to have one common instance, which is the Cloud SQL instance compatible with Postgres created by Evelyn. So currently, the private keys has been passed on to the developers, so they're able to log in, most of them, to the VMs, and they're also able to connect to the Postgres instance. Again, we've created two technical users for each team, and that is as well possible to connect, which is not to connect from our local, but it is possible to be connected from the specific GL itself. So that's how the network is configured. And then we are using the Visual Studio Code IDE, so which is quite convenient for us to do the remote development, so that none of them, fall over to our local. So therefore, all the development connecting to the Postgres, running our ETL scripts will all be on the VM itself via the Visual Studio Code. And there is as well sufficient isolation between the developers themselves, because we don't want to have any conflicts in the way the development is happening. So uh, as mentioned in the documentation of the PyPSR, each developer can create their own Python virtual environment under their home folder, and as well set up the Git that's required, and can just push from their own credentials, so that yeah, we know who is working on, on the specific scripts on the GitHub. And just to talk about the Postgres Cloud SQL as well, yeah, so Evelyn created the instance, and then a Passar database is created for our first phase. We could as well see how we kind of progress in the future sprints, whether we want to have a staging database or a production in the end. That depends on how we, go along. So Evelyn as well helped us to create, from the source data 1% to be formatted in a CSV, and then loaded into the GCP storage bucket. And once that's done, it's mostly done except for the RMS vitals table. And then Max from the data analysis team has well helped us to load the data from the storage bucket to the Postgres instance itself on the Cloud SQL. So he has as well kindly given us a scripts that we can run, and it's as well uploaded into the Microsoft Teams. And then lastly, we have as well created two schemas. Again, to begin with, the OMOP tables are populated. So the ETL developers can make use of them to ingest the data into the corresponding dev schemas. Yeah, so the timeline. The SQL team has already started to work on the development, because the data analysis team is as well now passing the spec for the has already passed the spec for the person, the on the batch site, and the provider tables. So the person table is completed, and the other tables are in progress. They've also uploaded the SQL scripts in our files section on the Teams. It's available for viewing. And lastly, it's just an illustration for the. This is just a fake data that has been used to test the ETL implementation for the person table. So you can see that the source is the chart table, and then and here is the person table in the OMOP format. Yeah. Any questions?
Thank you, Satish. Is there any questions for the ETL team from the audience?
Yes.
So
Sorry.
Yeah, Mui, please go ahead.
So do we load the what was it, the 10% or the 1,000 patients? Are we still working on the 10 patient sample?
Yeah, so I was just going to provide a update on that. So Evelyn is not with us today. She has a conflict, but another majority aspect of I wouldn't say the ETL team, but another majority progress we've made in terms of the entire project itself is Evelyn has successfully extracted 999 cases from the Parsar database, and it has been currently uploaded into the development environments that Satish has described at the beginning of his presentation. So we're not working with just the 10 cases initially. We are now able to work on 999 cases, the actual sample data.
So when did that happen? I mean, did that happen recently?
It happened very recently, actually. I think 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay, so now the vocabulary team and the data analysis team has more to work with, right?
Sorry, Mui, your voice was muffled for a moment there.
Yeah, I don't know, when I have two of them on, it doesn't like it. Oh, let me click off one of my. I was just saying that then that means that data scientist team and vocabulary team can now keep moving on their analysis, right?
Yeah, so the data analysis team was working with the 10K sample anyways. That has been, I shouldn't be speaking for the data analysis team. The vocab team also can speak or add anything, but there was the extraction of the distinct codes already delivered as well. So it has been happening in parallel to the sample data preparations.
Okay.
Is there any additions from the data analysis team or the vocabulary team to Mui's question just now? I might have spoken incorrectly, so please correct me if I'm wrong. I think silence means I am correct. Okay, thank you, Satish. If no further questions for the ETL team, we'll move ahead with the update from the vocabulary team. Lakshmi?
Yeah, maybe a quick comment from me. Yeah, hey, hi guys. First of all, thank you everyone for being part of this project. Just a quick reminder, understand that it took us a while to extract the data and upload to GCP. I'm glad that everything is working and hopefully everything is working now. Just a quick reminder, as is dealing with patient data and also restricted by the data user agreement we have with the hospitals. We keep all the data under Google. I know sometimes it may feel a lot easier to download everything locally and work. Apologize for additional travel there, but like I say, due to the restricted requirements from the hospital, let's all try to not try. Let's all work on the data while it stays on Google server. Right? Thanks everyone.
Yeah. To your comment there, Morning. I think the ETL team has been very active in making sure that we're compliant with the data use agreements. Nobody has downloaded anything into their local machines. Everything has been worked on within the environment that have been provided to us. Satish, I'm accurate on that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a reminder. Nevertheless, things that's not patient data. For example, all the unique list of concept IDs, drug names, medication names, procedure names, diagnostic codes, all these can be downloaded even to locally, right? as far as it's not a patient's record defined. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's how the distinct codes were delivered to the vocabulary team. But again, I shouldn't be speaking for the vocabulary team. Lakshmi, over to you now.
Thank you, Song. We have very less updates. From sprint 1 to sprint 2, we have given the training to the team members about vocabulary mapping and how to install and use the Usahi tools. And we also identified the fields that requires mapping. And we are going to start with our mapping from tomorrow onwards. So that's the update from our end.
Thanks, Lakshmi. Any questions for the vocab team?
Yeah, do we know at a high level, if the team has looked at how long it might take them to do the mapping?
No, for now. But tomorrow we are going to discuss with the team and segregate the work among ourselves and going to do the planning, Moi.
Awesome,
But
thank you. I just want to know, because if we need help, then let's figure out how to bring in more people to help with the vocabulary, right? If needed. Because I know that part always takes the longest.
Maybe by tomorrow we will be able to update you, Moi, on that part. Yeah, I can do the planning. Yeah. Key, would you like to add?
So we're so right now the ETL, we are not the bottleneck, right? The ETL team is not waiting for us. That's correct, right?
Yes, but I don't want to prevent any bottlenecks. That's what I'm trying to get to, right?
Right. So we're shooting for 95% mapping. We're not going to map everything. Like the procedure itself have over 4,000 terms. Many terms have like one record, right? So we're shooting for 95% transaction level, and we have reason to believe we can get it done before the ETL team actually need the source to concept map table. So I would just
and
put
you
it.
Guys, sorry, and you guys downloaded all of the unique codes, right? You didn't
Correct.
just do the 999 patient sample. You actually grabbed every single unique code that you need, right?
Correct. Yes, along with the count. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just wondering because vocabulary mapping always takes the longest, right? And
Yeah.
if we need help, then let's figure out how to recruit more people to help you guys. I know you're not the bottleneck right now, but just want to make sure that we don't end up getting bottlenecks.
Okay. All right. Now, when you say you can provide us help, are there any medical expert? There's certain field that really, you know.
Mm-hmm. We can ask that at the next community call. That's why I'm saying if there's things you need, let's ask that. I mean, there's a bunch of folks on here that are observers as well, right? So we can do a reach out to the community and ask if there are people who can help, both on the APAC side and on the global side.
Okay, thank you.
I just need you to tell me exactly what we need, and then I can do the broadcasting, if that makes sense.
And also locally, the clinical owners of the data, they are very supportive. Maybe you can compile a list of questions and forward to Yizhi. I believe Yizhi is on the call as well. And then we can help to pass it along to the sort of the clinical owners that created this data set.
Even better.
Yes,
if you can give me what it is that you request, then we can work on trying to bring in the help that you need.
Okay.
I have a question, Chi, Lakshmi. When you guys are doing the mappings, you're gonna use Usagi, I think so, right? Because you did a training for this.
Right.
So each team member will have Usagi installed, and you'll be splitting the portions of the terms, and they would go ahead with the mappings, right?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a great yeah, go ahead.
Right now, we are let the team member volunteer to take uh, the field that they are interested in or they have experience in. Like one member took the drug drug code, not drug terms. I think he has experience with that, but the majority the majority of files have not been picked up yet. So we will, as Lakshmi said, we'll soon assign people to work on them. So.
Yeah, if people volunteered, they signed up for this. You as the leads and the PM, I think you guys are justified to assign people with stuff. But again, this is a voluntary basis project. If, as Mui said, if you need more people, let us know. We can help you find more volunteers to help with the vocabulary mappings.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. That was the vocabulary team's update. Thank you for being here in the review in the call today. Next we have
Max is here.
Yep, I saw. That's why I stopped chasing. Hi, Max. Welcome to the meeting. We'll hear from the data analysis team next. Max, are you speaking? We're not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. I keep having this problem. All right, hello everyone. So this is Max from the data analysis team, and I have Bunsing, who is also a co-lead of the data analysis team. And we have made some progress. But before that, I would like to recap on what we have been doing the team. So we have about 10 volunteers working in our team, and they have done incredible jobs of analyze the data, the source data, and try to map them onto OMOP CDM. So we use the White Rabbit to scan the 10 cases, the data sample, and then we use that information to map. We map it on spreadsheet online, so everyone can join and update the mapping in real time. And we also made use of AI to help with suggesting likely matches from PASA to OMOP, and we submitted the field name and the description, but not the data into the AI, and have it suggested the field names. So far, we have made a lot of progress, and Bunseng will update you on the progress that we have made on each table later on. And the next step is for our team is to do the ETL documentation or the specification. This one we use Rabbit in a Hat, which is the Odyssey tool that look like this. So basically, we imported the scan report from White Rabbit into this tool and combined this with information from the spreadsheet that our team has made in the spreadsheet, and then we Bunseng and I use this to build the ETL specification. So in this Rapid in a Hat tool, we use the function generate ETL document, and in this case we generate the document as markdown documents. Then we upload the markdown document onto GitHub and make it as a GitHub pages so that anyone can have a look. And yeah, so you can see all the links there. And if there are any changes, that will be made as commit, and all the revision will be committed onto GitHub so that the developers can track all the changes. So that's all about the process that we use. And next, Bunseng will update you on the progress that we have made so far. Bunseng, are you ready?
Okay, everyone can hear me. I'm Bunseng from Data Analysis team.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So thanks a lot for our team members who contribute in this data analysis team. In fact, majority of the team members is actually working very hard for the last 2 weeks. And we also managed to compile and prepare the ETL's spec that also delivered to ETL team for kickstart the development as per reported by Jiawei team, right? For the person spec, right? And then for the care side and provider, in fact, we also deliver to ETL team based on the status of the where you can see the percentage of completion over here, right? Which is 100% completed and validated by us. And for the visit occurrence and together with the visit details, in fact, we also completed now at the stage of the final validations. As once we're ready, we also will be updated to the ETL spec and also share to the team members. And so now in progressively, we also started to look into the observation period. And for the rest of the domain tables, we actually has a very good progress, which is almost can say average at the 80 to 90%, right? From here, you can observe here. And there's only one area that we are still lagging behind, but we are trying to catch up, which is a drug exposure. We will assist Dr. Ayogi and the team, right, to catch up on this drug exposure. It's taking a bit longer because it's those information came from the multiple source table, right? So we need to catch up on this area. I believe we can able to try our best to finalize it by next week, right? So I think this is an overall progress that we able to deliver within last 2 weeks, right? And I think apart from this one, we also would like to share with everyone some of the area that we want to seek the experienced OMOP members, right, who has a more experience on how to identify the field that won't be able to map to OMOP and came from the PASA. I think this is an area that we also would like to have a call together with the data owner, Yizi, and also I miss the other member, right? To confirm whether those field is actually would like to take up or those field is actually we won't be able to map, and what is the next step. And apart from this, we would like to highlight based on the sample data, we also identify there's a close to 20 plus column is actually doesn't have a data, which is the null value, right? So we put it as a KIV for this moment, right? Because there's no data at this moment. But we want to check again the new data set that have been uploaded by Evelyn, right? Because this is the latest information that have been shared by Evelyn. Okay. I think that's all from our end to report the current status of the data analysis part. Yeah. Any questions from the team?
Thank you, Max. Thank you, Bunseng, for the update. I think Morning and Izu will be more than happy to help out with regards to any questions around the source data itself. So if there are any questions there and or clarifications needed there, your go-to person will be Izu in the call right now.
Okay.
Great to see the progress you're making. Personally, I think I'm quite surprised. A lot of the tables are already done, and a majority of the other tables are more than 50% done as well. So I think this is great progress we're making. Now that the environment is set up as well, I think some significant progress will be made from the ETL team based on the specs delivered by the data analysis team. So thank you for that. Is there any other questions from the community for Bunseng or Max?
Hi.
Questions?
Do we have any observers in this group? Do we have observers? I like to. I mean, I just want to know from the observer perspective, what are their thoughts and how are they feeling about like what the teams are doing?
I do see some observers, but I don't want to be the mean person and call out these people. But please, anybody, like, we would love feedback, right? We're an open community.
Hello,
Max.
Moi, and hi, Moi, and Song. So with regards, I don't know what am I just got back and just had a quick discussion with Bunsheng and also understand a little bit more about the current progress. So one of the things I was I'm still unsure is that how do we treat those information that is available from the sources, but it is not mapped, not available in the OMOP CDM? Do we totally disregard them, or we should actually have a way to handle those? Otherwise, some of those information could be very important or could be very meaningful. This unfortunate that there is no corresponding information available in the OMOP CDM.
So it really depends on the data that you're looking at that's not being able to map, right? Because one of the things you can do, which some people will say not to do, but I can tell you in practice, it's just reality, is people create extension tables. Okay? So it's information, like we have it too in our organization. Like in my organization, we have a patient ID that's unique. That's not the actual patient ID. It's a way to link to all my data sources. Okay. So in the data asset itself, there's a unique patient ID, but then there's a linkable patient ID. Okay. But that linkable patient ID is a separate ID from the other ID. And I need to have both. So in our person table, what we do is we add a column at the end of the table to store that linkable patient ID. I don't create an extra table, but I create an extra column, right? Because then if you put Atlas on top of it, it still works. You run R code on it, other people's packages, they all still work. It's just I'm adding it to the end of the table, right?
Right.
And there's other scenarios where we've actually added other tables, right? Like for example, another example, maybe it doesn't happen in you guys' world, but in my world as well, is on claims data, I have this rejection flag, whether or not the claim was rejected or not. That makes sense?
I think it makes a lot of sense.
For studies, like real world studies, it may not matter because it's just saying that the claim was rejected because I'm looking at claims data. In the OMOP CDM, it typically says you need to remove those because they are, since they're rejected, it means that the patient never took the drug. Okay, because the claim got rejected, that means the insurance doesn't pay for it, right? Does that make sense? But we don't want to lose those records because we have other, like we run analysis on the number of rejections in our claims. For commercial purposes, not for research purposes, right?
Right.
So we keep that, but we keep it in another table. That's exactly the same structure as the drug exposure table. Get it?
I see.
So
that is a very good point.
Yeah. So again, it's another table. It's an extension table. It's things like that makes you still keep the base of the OMOP CDM delivery table, right? The standard tables, but then you add in these extensions where you feel they're necessary.
Right. Thank you. This is a very good advice. Thanks, Moi.
I think this is a great discussion. then for the purposes of this project itself, Mui, should we just focus on the default OMOP CDM tables and refrain from creating extensions just for the simplicity and a higher success rate? What would be your
Yeah, for our scope, we want to take the path of least resistance, right? We don't want to include all those. I mean, we can document them and look at them later, but for our own personal scope, I would go the best case scenario at this point in time.
Perfect. I think that makes sense. If you start with trying to do so much, you're bound to fail. So I think having a clear objective and a direction is better for a successful project.
And let's stick to MVP, right? Minimal viable product.
Yeah. Bunseng, did that exchange just now help with some of your questions that you brought up during your presentation?
Yes, that's great. We will highlight and identify those fields from the source. Wouldn't be able to, it doesn't able to map to the default OMOP field. And then we will compile it and then share to Morning and Yi-Zhi to take the next step, right?
Sounds like a good idea. So for the purposes of the project itself, we stick to the standard OMOP tables, but we will document as a group what fields don't map to the OMOP, and hopefully we can enhance the parsar data set, the OMOP version of it in the future. But yeah, let's stick with the MVP for now for the project.
In general, not all fields will map either, right? Because some of the fields, you're using it to determine what the business rule to put it in the OMOP CDM. So those fields won't map to the OMOP CDM, but it's part of your ETL logic, right? So there are fields that are like that. And then there are fields that truly is not captured in OMOP anywhere that you want to retain. So it's two different ones. Does that make sense?
Yes, certainly.
Okay, great question, Stephen. Bunseng, thank you for bringing this up. I think we as a group decided a clear direction, so this is great. I also saw Lydia speak out at the same time Stephen spoke out. Lydia, do you want to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Thanks for having me have the opportunity to speak. Yeah, so I understand, per my understanding, that for most of the tables that are work in progress, JAK exposure table, which is one of the most important table. With previously 2 volunteers sign up for the work task, but currently we only have 1 working on this table. So I would want to ask if that's some of the volunteers from the team or even from the observers would like to be of help on this specific table.
Right, we have a call for help, guys. So the drug exposure table in the data analysis team is currently being done by only 1 person. Thank you, Aoyagi-san from Japan. I think he's currently in need of support. Is there anybody that would like to help Dr. Aoyagi-san on this task? If you don't want to speak out now, you can ping myself, Lydia, separately, and we can get you connected. I know we are very shy people in general, so you don't need to speak out now. Let us know on the side, and we can help you get connected.
Yeah, from lead time perspective, I think as we put the entire data analysis team task due at the very last week of this month, so I think we still have time. So don't worry about you might be rushing on this specific task, and it's actually work in progress. Progress halfway. So yeah, please let us know if you might have time to. So, thank you, Mo. You are too busy to work on this project. I think, yeah.
No, that's sincere. No, if nobody is able to volunteer, I can work with Professor Aoyagi-san.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thanks, Mui. So yeah, just let us know separately offline. Thanks all.
Thank you, Lydia. Right, so this is actually a very good time for us to ask for help. So if there's any SOS needed, guys, use these calls to call out.
Hello, can I have a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, I'm one of the observers from Korea, and I'm working at Seoul National University Hospital. So the data I just saw seemed to be a sample with a small number of source tables, but in reality, the source data such as ODS that store EMR data of university hospital, such as Seoul National University Hospital, are so huge. So I know there are hundreds or thousands of them. So for example, the source table are scattered, such as a blood test or blood lab test related table in measurement, and or some table related to some procedure or various other tests. So I wonder how to do ETL for this case. Can I just connect its source table to the OMOP table, or I think it seems too huge, so do I need to invest more time, or is there any special know-how? So how is it usually done in reality?
Can anybody take up this question?
I missed some of it. So what's the question again? I understood the part about hospitals have lots and lots of source tables. But,
Yes.
And I heard something about measurements.
Yeah, measurement is just for example. In reality, there are so many source tables related to measurement, like some blood test or some urine test, or so I'm wonder how to ETL from many source table to one measurement OMOP table. Yes.
Got it. So it's a matter of how you prioritize, right? So it's very loud here. I'm at a bowling alley, so hopefully you guys don't hear everybody else besides me, right? It's a matter of priority, right? Because unless you have a lot of resources, there's no way you're going to be able to do all of that at once, right? So you have to look at all your source tables and what is the most common use case that you want to use your data for. For example, right? If you're dealing with, let's just say diabetes, right? If you have use cases on diabetes on a specific TA. Now, I'm not a medical person, so I might get this wrong. And you said, you have you have like urine samples, right? Do you really need that if you're trying to run a diabetes study? You may or may not, right? So then you might prioritize that table lower as a second phase. So your first phase, just like we're doing here, we're going for what we call minimal viable product, which is what we want to get done first, right? And then you phase it out as the second phase of the ETL. ETL takes a long time. It's not like a one-shot thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much. It was a big help.
Or Song can explain it in Korean.
Yeah, so Suyan, if you want to reach out to me, I can help with the explanation in Korean. I don't want to speak Korean now. Should I speak Korean now, Mui?
Why not? Why can't you speak Korean now, Song?
Okay. This is a bit embarrassing, guys. This is very awkward. So here I go. 지금 ETL 하실 때 지금 말씀하신 게 테이블이 굉장히 많고 특정 예를 들어 랩 테스트 같은 경우에는 소스 테이블에 여러 군데 흩어져 있다라고 말씀을 해주셨고 그거를 그러면 어떻게 효율적으로 그러면 오마브로 변환을 하는지 여쭤보신 것 같아요. 맞나요?
네, 맞습니다.
네. 그래서 이제 무이의 레코멘데이션은 자기의 유스 케이스에 가장 자기 유스 케이스가 뭔지 먼저 정의를 하고, 예를 들어 내가 그러면 아까 예를 든 거는 당뇨 환자에 대한 연구를 하고 싶다. 그러면 일단 ETL 자체를 당뇨 환자로 포커싱을 해가지고, 그러면 예를 들어 방금 말씀하신 랩 테스트가 여러 군데 흩어져 있는 상황이라면 그 랩 테스트가 흩어져 있는 것 중에서 테이블들 중에서 당뇨와 관련된 랩 테스트가 어디에 있는지 먼저 확인을 하시고 그 테이블에 먼저 집중을 하라고 말씀을 하시는 그 조언을 주는 것 같아요. 그래서 일단 먼저 모든 걸 한꺼번에 하는 것보다는 내가 원하는 거를 최소한 이룰 수 있게 그 MVP, 미니멀 바이어블 프로덕트를 먼저 만드는 거를 목표로 하라라고 하는 게 무의의 조언인 것 같습니다. 됐나요? 설명이 됐을까요?
네.
How was that?
이해하기가 어렵습니다. I mean, yeah, 진짜 어렵습니다.
Yeah, so we have another non-Korean here speaking Korean. Hi, Lydia. You're very good at Korean.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Thank you so much. Actually, it is my first time to speak in Odyssey APAC.
Please
We
bring
welcome
more
you.
questions.
Please.
Yeah.
Yep. We welcome.
Actually,
Thank you. And that was
thank
a
you so
beautiful
much.
explanation, Song. And you spoke beautifully in Korean.
I'm pretty sure I sounded very, very alien. I am not gonna watch my recording ever again, especially on this specific part. Okay. Is there any other questions from the community? I know there is actually. By the way, I completely disregarded the QA team. I know Santan and Karthik are both in the call today. Guys, I don't want to call you out, but I will give you the floor if you want to. I called you out again. Sorry about that. Santan, Karthik.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I will use I will put up the recording on YouTube as sort of like a repercussion of calling us out in multiple. Nah, we don't have an update yet, right? I mean, we still not we're still not activated. We are still the sleeper cell, and we will wait for everything to be done, and then
No, like
You
again,
know what you should do? You need to cut out that one piece of it and have it replay over and over and over again on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all YouTube shorts, straight up, and Instagram stories and stuff. Yeah, straight up.
Heck, yep.
No, don't do that. Now I'm feeling very bad now. No, like I called you out, Karthik, Santan, because thank you. Like, although you haven't, like you guys are waiting for the other teams. I really appreciate that you guys are always joining the calls to see the progress of the others and participating in this community project. So thank you for being here. I'm pretty sure the other teams will get you very busy in the next coming weeks. So yeah, don't be too laid back. You have a lot coming ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the community? All right, thumbs up from Mui, silence from the community. I guess we're all good. Just a heads up, everyone, we have another sprint review in 13 days time. So it's not a Thursday, it's going to be a Wednesday because on Thursday, September 19th, we actually have our community call. So sprint 3 review will be September 18th. And we will also have a project status update to the overall community at the community call on the September 19th as well. So there will be an email sent out to the leads and the PMs for preparation for those both. And we can decide who's going to present what moving forward. So please keep an eye out on an email from the Odyssey APAC account. I will be coordinating with you guys individually on that. All right, I think that's all. If no final comments from the community, we can close the call.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a nice one, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Love your Korean song.